Hello and welcome to Monday Morning Messages from your Guardian Angel. I am Ros Place and I'm delighted to be with you today to talk about a cure for insecurity. So, insecurity is something which is often invisible. Insecurity is often hidden away because for some reason we desperately do not want anybody else to know about the things that make us feel the smallest. We don't want people to see our flaws. We don't want people to know that we're frightened, that we feel vulnerable, that we worry about things. And insecurity is something which really drives behaviour in the most distorted of ways. It also creates paralysis. And insecurity is something which prevents you from achieving your purpose. And your guardian angel is the energy of your purpose. Your guardian angel is with you to help you to fulfill your purpose. And any barriers, any blocks to you fulfilling your purpose is something which your guardian angel can help you to conquer. And particularly this year, remember this year is 2018. And 2018, when you add 2 and 1 and 8, gives you 11. So this year, 2018, is the year to conquer all of your challenges. It's the year which holds the energy of 11, which is full of potential. 11 helps you to conquer and triumph and be victorious and make progress and advance in areas of your life where you may have felt absolutely impossible just a few days ago. So, insecurity is one of those barriers. It's a big barrier. Insecurity is something which prevents you from being who you are. Because insecurity is something that I liken to a wobbly foundation. If you can imagine that a building is built on foundations and that foundation has to take a lot of weight from growth and different layers which you build. If the foundations are wobbly, if the foundations have gaps or holes, if the foundations aren't secure, then that building of you, that personal development, that evolution and expansion that we're all here to experience through our life purpose becomes extremely challenging, becomes very, very difficult indeed. So, insecurity is something which sometimes we wish to deal with, and we feel that we'll be able to feel better about ourselves when other people tell us how marvelous we are. It's very often the case that people who have insecurities can be those people who need an awful lot of attention, need an awful lot of approval. They keep asking through their actions and through the things that they do, tell me I'm a good person, tell me I'm doing well, tell me I'm doing a good job, tell me I'm good enough, tell me I'm slim enough, tell me I'm qualified enough, tell me I'm expert enough, tell me you like me, tell me I'm wonderful, tell me I'm beautiful. And that reaching out through your actions, through the way that people relate to others, and through what they're wanting other people so desperately to give them, really drives behavior which just compounds insecurity. So let me give you a personal example of this. I'm just going to close my laptop down. A personal example of this is that insecurity has been something which has been a feature of much of my life. Outwardly, people would always say, "Oh, Rosie's so confident. You know, she's so upfront. You know, she's so able to get along and do things." People would always talk about me as being confident, and outwardly, I've always been confident, but inwardly it was a very, very different story. So I would want approval. I'd want people to tell me how well I'd done, that I was doing a great job. And through reaching out for that, I think I felt that that would make me feel better. But the strange thing happens when you require approval, when you're insecure, because you want approval. You want someone to make you feel better about yourself. You want someone's strength of feeling about how incredible you are to give you that same strength of feeling about how incredible you are inside. But all that happens is people tell you how marvelous you are, and it makes you feel like an empty hole inside because it doesn't feel like truth. Because what people say to you, you can't accept. It feels like a lie. So you're wanting people to make you feel better about who you are, but when you receive it, if you receive it, not only does it become like a dependency and a compulsion and really restrictive behavior, but what happens is that when you get it, you can't let it in anyway. It just makes you feel worse. This person sees this in me. This person believes in me. This person thinks I'm amazing. And that's not true because I don't think I'm amazing. But still, this kind of cycle continues. Also, what can happen through insecurity is that you don't do things because you're terrified about what other people will say about you that's critical. So insecurity can prevent you from acting and doing things because you are terrified of getting it wrong. You are terrified of being criticized. You're terrified of someone saying to you, repeating what you hear up here, which is, you're not good enough. You're never going to make it. No one cares. You're never going to come up to scratch. Don't waste your time. Don't bother. So insecurity, on one hand, asks you to be needy and to require approval and validation, which once you receive, you can't accept anyway because you can't relate to or understand that aspect of yourself, or it paralyzes you. And it means that you'll have a second of thought around something that you want to do, and almost instantaneously it's cancelled out. Forget it. Never going to happen. Not for you. You're not good enough for that. So you end up in this real, uncomfortable, restrictive, confining, closed, stifling, choked place. And all the time this is going on, you're trying to hide it. You're trying to fight your way through it some days by talking yourself up inside your head. And other days, you just can't do anything at all. You're just paralyzed. You fear. You doubt yourself. And your fear about who you are is something which can be played out time and time and time again. Because the other perverse, weird aspect of us is that we're looking for truth. We're looking to be right. And if we believe that we're not good enough, which is one of our insecurities, then there's going to be evidence to demonstrate that to us because we want to be right. So insecurity, I hope I've expressed to you, is an extremely challenging. I cannot speak for everybody, of course I cannot, but in my experience, everybody who I have come across has some form of insecurity. It might be their weight, it might be their qualifications, their relationship status, their spiritual development, their career, some other aspect of themselves physically or intellectually. Everybody seems to be stumbling through life with these insecurities, pretending they don't exist and trying to be something that will help them to advance and move through life. And I was that person. And insecurity was something which had me in tears, something which had me almost walk away from what I did on numerous occasions. Give up. No, give up. Just give up. Just give up. And what happened for me, and this is where I share with you a cure, for insecurity is noticing and identifying this cycle of needing people to believe in me, encourage me, big me up, make me feel amazing, but not be able to accept it. And then I got it from some people, but then I wanted it from other people in order for it to be more convincing to me. But I would never be able to accept it anyhow because it wasn't real to me. That person didn't exist. It was all a big fat lie. It was something which I couldn't allow myself to acknowledge about myself, and I feared criticism. I speak to people often that I'm mentoring about getting out there into the world, and one of the biggest fears is getting out there and being criticized. You know, I'm worried about what people will say. So here is my cure, which I shared with you, to insecurity, and that is self-definition. This is what I have done, and this is what I enjoy with all of my heart, helping other people to understand. And it's something which my 7-year-old understands, and it's something which can help every single person, no matter what stage you're at in your life, no matter what your age, no matter what your financial status, relationship status, no matter what your weight is, all those insecurities, all those things which prevent you from enjoying life and advancing, being the person that you've come here to be, all those really real things which you think once they're sorted, I'll be fine. Well, here's the news, you won't. No title, no salary, no validation, no testimonial, no review, no amount of followers, no dress size, no nothing, no car, no house is going to make you feel secure about who you are. You are the only person who can make you feel secure about who you are. And I say that to empower you. I say that because nobody else can do it. You're the one that can do it, and here's how. When you define yourself positively, when you take a moment to step back from where you are and ask yourself this question: what am I? What am I positively? And from the context from which all definitions can only be created, from the context of knowledge that you have about yourself now, from what you know about the person that you are positively, I'd like you to define yourself with I ams. That's what I call them with my son, my youngest. I ams. What about your I ams? Let's talk about your I ams. I'm kind. I am loving. I am encouraging. I am open. I am warm. I am heart-centered. I am happy. I ams, those are I ams which I can reach for now. But those are I ams which I've been able to authentically define myself and know myself to be through a process of starting with just one. Just one. And mine was I am kind. I am kind. And I am kind, when I define myself in those terms, didn't feel like it was valuable, didn't feel like it was anywhere near what I wanted to be able to define myself as. It didn't, I am kind didn't relate to what I wanted to achieve personally or professionally. I am kind didn't, as far as I could see, relate to the way that I wanted my life to be and my family's choices. I am kind was actually something which I can remember growing up and being told was not such a great thing because people will take advantage of you if you are kind. But kindness has always felt good to me. Being kind. Being kind. So I'd offer you, with regards to creating that solid foundation for your growth, for your life purpose to be built upon and developed, I'd offer to you this process of asking yourself, what am I? And answering that in I am. I am kind. Can you take that? Are you kind? I think about you. I know you're kind. It's what you know about yourself. And don't try and link it to your weight. Don't try and link it to your career or your exams that are coming up. Don't try and link it to something. Don't try and find an I am, which is like, for example, I am abundant. If you don't feel abundant, you don't need to find that I am. Your I ams don't need to link directly with things you want to achieve. The feeling of self-knowledge, self-definition, self-awareness is something which will provide you with that solid foundation of truth. So that when you step into a new situation, you go knowing what your foundation feels like. I'm kind. I know what I am. I know that I'm kind. I know what I am. And that builds that foundation of self-awareness through self-definition that provides you with security, that helps you to believe in yourself, because all insecurities, no matter how they appear to be presenting themselves, they all come down to self-doubt. Self-doubt is a lack of belief in yourself, a lack of belief in your abilities, in your deserving, in your worthiness. So find an I am, just one that doesn't relate to anything necessarily that you're wanting to achieve in your life. Don't let what you are be defined by things which you want to manifest in your life. And make sure that it's one I am that you know you are. Sometimes people are tempted to, through their desire to grow, reach for I ams which they don't feel they are quite yet. And helping people to develop I ams is great fun and really wonderful, because you soon see how people can have aspirational I ams which they can start to move into. And that's a whole wonderful process of taking steps and growth and progress. But just reach for one I am. And you'll find that when you know what you are and you start to understand the value of that, and you start to build your foundation of what you are and who you are based on truth, then other I ams will appear and your choices will be aligned with what you know yourself to be, your value, who you know you are. So the cure that I share with you to insecurity, to that wobbly foundation, is create a solid foundation, and create that upon a foundation of knowing who and what you are through your I ams. And it's been the most transformational, incredible experience to turn around that feeling of trying to talk myself up into feeling more confident, needing approval, not being able to accept it, being terrified about people saying that I was wrong or not good enough or they weren't interested, or you just align yourself with your I am. And then you're not influenced by the wonderful things that people say or the not so wonderful things that people say, because everything that anyone says can just be a wonderful reminder of what you know yourself to be. That wonderful feeling of security which comes from the self-knowledge that you will gain through self-definition. I am Roz and I am kind. That's how it started. And you might want to start in the same way, but only if it resonates with you. Shall we ask the cards, the oracle cards, what it is that they would like to share with us today? Our guardian angels. This is something I really encourage you to do. If you know your guardian angel's name, then use your guardian angel's name. If you don't, it doesn't matter. You just take your cards to your chest and you say, guardian angel, and in this case I will say Trissan, what is it that you would like to share with this community this week? What's our word going to be this week? Our community. Let's take a look. Wisdom. So the word this week is wisdom. Can you see that? It's quite bright, the light from my light that's shining in. But the card is wisdom. It's about being wise. I think being wise is about having knowledge. And self-knowledge is something which will provide you with real wisdom, a real knowing, a real energy which will help you to make really positive choices in your life. It really has been remarkable, the transformation that's occurred through I am, through knowing my I ams. Just means you can relax. It means that you can go about doing things that make you feel excited, that fill your heart up, that you're passionate about, without worrying about getting it wrong. Doing your best, being your I ams. It's been really remarkable, and seeing how it's been something which has really helped my younger son, particularly my older son too, but my younger son, when he comes home and says that another child has said something about him, we'll always take him back to his I ams. And it's not to criticize the child that says something mean. It's I ams, but what do you know yourself to be? What's your truth? What's true to you inside? Doesn't matter whatever anybody else says. It's just to remind you of what you know about you, what you know about yourself. So that's our card for this week. I've really been enjoying the one word cards. Last week we had power, and that was incredible. Eddie and I and the boys, we went to London at the weekend, and where we live currently, it's a very small little town by the sea. And so there's not so much advertising and, big billboards and everything up. It's when we, when our little country selves go into London, which is where actually I grew up, on the outskirts of London. You see lots of different words, and the angels can really communicate. It's really fun. And it's amazing how many times we saw power, empowered and powerful and power. So look out for the word wisdom this week. Look out for anything to do with wisdom and wise. And there's one person I'm thinking of in particular who'll be watching this. It's actually her word for this year, which is really exciting. So I hope that you see that. And you, Kellyanne, and you make a note about that you've seen it too, because that'd be really fun. So I'd love it if you could share your cards this week. It was so positive to see everybody's word focus for this week, what your guardian angel has shared with you. Also, it would be very brave and very loving and kind for you to share your I am. Do you have an I am? An I am which you know is true, and that is the beginnings of your foundation upon which you can build your purpose and all of the experiences that you've come here to have. I'd love you to share that. I'd love to read that. I want to thank you for being part of this community. This is the third time that I've recorded this message about insecurity, for one reason or another, always for a reason. And I really look forward to you joining me in the next Monday morning message, where we'll be talking about something completely new. Have a wonderful week of wisdom with your guardian angel, and I look forward to being with you next week.